4 years gone, I don't know, just distraught, confused, angry. Just gonna need help, I guess. I don't know. Just angry. I don't know. I want answers. I want answers. I want answers. So bad.
As you can appreciate, this is very difficult for these gentlemen to talk about, and I'd like to ask Mr. Swanson to say a few words at this time.
I don't know what to say.
Take it off, please.
I don't know what to say. So. I don't know what to say.
Dear members of the media, as you can appreciate, this is a very difficult matter. This has just come to light very shortly, even though there's always suspicions in the community with these two gentlemen. Knowing the reality is very, very difficult. And I believe that the federal government owes these people not only what I'm asking them to do, but indeed I think that it's something that has to be thoroughly examined. It's something that they can't sweep under the carpet. It's something that has to be dealt with. And I know the leadership will be standing behind my friends here, and the appropriate counseling methods available so that they can live through this turmoil. So at this time, I'll open the floor to any questions that you may have, and to the best of my ability, I'll try and convey what these gentlemen are talking about.
So Eric, for something that happened 40 years ago, you're asking for an investigation. Do you think it's reasonable to expect that there would be records of who worked in the hospital, who would have been in the hospital at the time, given that it's so far back?
It is quite a long time ago, but then when you think about it, 40 years ago is not that long either, you know. So we would expect that the federal government keeps the appropriate records as to who was there. So we suspect that some will be missing. Some of us have gone through the residential school system. Our records were burnt or one thing or the other, but I think that we don't want no game playing here. We want some honest answers for these gentlemen, and rightfully they deserve it. What happened to them, as I described earlier, is criminal. It should not have happened, but I expect that the federal government, and being that they're fellow Canadians, will agree and consent to such an investigation. External. You know, we don't want bureaucrats to be doing this. We want an external firm to do the investigation so that it's honest and thorough.
Has any other families come forward?
Let me just say this. There's some lingering questions out there.
Is this something that you think was deliberate?
I can't positively say that in good conscience, but certainly one would have to wonder. As I described earlier, you know, the first time could be discounted as a mistake. A second time, in my view, is a criminal activity.
What would you consider a reasonable outcome in terms of after an investigation? What would you be looking for?
Well, let's not look that far yet, you know. Let's have the appropriate counseling services made available to these victims. Let us figure out a way of how they can cope with this for the remainder of their lives. These two gentlemen are not the only victims here. We also have the families who are deeply hurt by this. We have siblings at the back of the room that are hurt by this. So I think that we have to look at those and the extensive counseling requirements that are needed by the families. So that's what we have to consider as well.
How did the federal government launch launched an investigation? You said you spoke to the federal minister on 2 separate occasions. What has been done?
I received one of those bureaucratic written letters probably in the month of January or February, and assuring me that this was being looked into, but I never got a thorough explanation as to whether or not an investigation had occurred or not.
And how does that sit with you?
That doesn't sit well with me because it's a typical, and at that time, as you know, I was a minister of the Crown for the province of Manitoba, and I was working with the 2 gentlemen from Garden Hill, and we felt that the federal government wasn't taking this matter seriously enough. And in my conversation with Minister Philpott, it appeared that she discounted it in a lot of ways. You know, I'm not one to analyze telephone conversations, but it appeared to me that she wasn't taking my word seriously, nor that of Mr. Barkman and Mr. Monias. So I would think that the federal government ought to take this seriously now.
So the minister's just put out a statement saying that she's going to call for an investigation through referring.
It should be external.
That's what she's saying.
That's good. We've achieved one thing this morning, so that's a good thing, isn't it?
Do you suspect that there are other cases? And if
Yeah.
so, how many do you suspect?
I can't tell you the number, but I do suspect some, yes.
What's your message to those people in those situations?
It's a difficult process. It's going to be, it's not going to happen overnight. Whatever the end result may be is going to take a bit of time. But I'm hopeful that justice will prevail at the end of the day.
What have the immediate steps been to take emotionally and, you know, for healing for these?
I would expect that the federal minister will work with us directly. And as I said, that she will take the time. You know, I know that she was quite busy getting transported around the greater Toronto area with her limousines. I think that she would take a trip to Norway House and hear firsthand, or come to Manitoba and talk with people from Garden Hill and my relatives from Norway House and hear firsthand how this has impacted their families. I think that would be the decent human thing to do.